Well, hello, young lady. How are you?
I'm very good, Cheryl.
I'm so excited that you're here.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. This is Wendy Gerhart, folks, and she's the Executive Director of the Canadian Spondylitis Association here in Canada. We're really happy to have you here, Wendy. First of all, I want to thank you. The CSA, as we affectionately, we all boil down to acronyms, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
You've been our steadfast partner, along with the Arthritis Research Canada Arthritis Patient Advisory Board, in putting on #CArthritis at the annual scientific meeting of the Canadian Rheumatology Association and the Arthritis Health Professionals Association. So, first of all, a huge thanks. We're getting interviewees, catch as catch can. Gerald does a fabulous job.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, it's always a gas, so it's fun. And for our viewers in Facebook and Twitter land, they really appreciate it. And we get to hear from people doing, grassroots work like us, from scientists, from clinicians, from, psychologists, physiotherapists. It's really a cool way to get the science of this meeting out to the street as quickly as we can.
Yeah.
So what we want to talk about, really tough topics today. Tell us about the Canadian Spondylitis Association, what you do,
Okay.
how you serve, the people that are your members, kind of what's on deck for the next year.
Okay.
Yeah, so fire away.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm relatively new to the Canadian Spondylitis Association, as you know.
Mhm.
2 years, almost 2 years in, and really grateful for the opportunity to work within this industry. I came from the pharmaceutical industry, and so it's been a real eye-opener for me moving over to this other side, because I think learning firsthand, live, dealing with patients on a day-to-day basis is something that a lot of times industry misses out on, and could really improve sort of the thought behind what they do as well. So the Canadian Spondylitis Association is a not-for-profit Canadian organization. We're very grassroots. We are, there's only one paid employee, and that's myself, really supported by a board of individuals who live with either ankylosing spondylitis or psoriatic arthritis at this moment, but really growing to bring in expertise to support me in my role in growing the organization.
And those are volunteers that you're talking about.
They
the
are
board
all
and all that,
volunteers,
which is
yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
incredible.
And they really bring, for me in this great learning curve, the opportunity to learn firsthand from them about the illnesses and the journey and the struggles and the triumphs that they go through. Living with a chronic illness.
Yeah, you're also, as an organization, really attached kind of at the hip, if you will, to SPARC, which is the acronym for a group of researchers across the country who focus on research work. So I think that's been a real meaningful partnership over the years to you, and I assume that's ongoing. I think Rob Inman is still the head of that. We've interviewed him many times here, and he's always a pleasure to talk to. So that continues, that relationship.
That absolutely continues. And we hope that we're able to continue growing our partnership with them and our relationships, and really strengthen opportunities to become part of those rheumatologists within SPARC, of their healthcare team within their clinics in their various cities and stuff. So there's lots of work to be done, but I think we'll get there. It's just a matter of, baby steps as we take it.
Only takes time, kiddo. Takes time.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you think, when you think about all the things that you do for people that are your members, or people who even aren't members, but out in the public living with one type or of another of diseases that you speak out for. I know you've just revamped your website. I know you've got some great materials. Yeah, I know. It's always a pleasure, isn't it? That's my job too, and I know.
It's ongoing.
I
It's
know.
not done, that's for sure.
Digital.
Yeah.
But in the end, it's what people want. It's how they want it and where they want it that matters so much. So talk to us about some of those innovations that you've been making. I know you have some public forums coming up throughout the year. So talk to us about those and what you hope to achieve.
So public forums continue to be a great opportunity to educate patients.
Mm-hmm.
Not only patients, we're really trying to extend our invitation to those information sessions to university students, whether they be in pharmacy or physiotherapy, med students, chiropractor, any of the allied, the professions that fall into that allied health thing.
Yeah.
We really want to bring and incorporate those into our public forums because they are a huge focus of education on our part.
Yeah.
They play a huge role in helping our patients, and we recently did a survey on common complications in 2018, and what we learned was, and I don't have the numbers right at the top of my head, but a significant number of individuals are referred from an allied health professional to go and get assessment for a spot diagnosis. So, that's a physiotherapist working with a patient scratching their head saying, I think that
this doesn't look right.
Mechanical. Like, I think this is more, it needs more assessment.
Right.
So it's a significant number, and again, I don't have it right on the top of my head, but that is a huge focus of ours in 2019 and beyond.
Yeah.
It's going to take a long time to get there and to reach everybody that's in the profession and being educated. But everybody really plays a role. What we're learning in, trying to get people diagnosed earlier, onto treatment earlier, and really, delaying any irreversible damages.
Right.
And I honestly feel that getting people onto the right medication earlier will help to delay, and have people not have to go onto disability.
Yeah.
And just be able to carry on with life as best they can for as long as they can.
Yeah, so very similar to other types of autoimmune arthritis where you have, this window and particularly in ankylosing spondylitis or spondyloarthropathies in general, the delay to diagnosis, it's tragic. I mean, that some of the, I think maybe data is more recent, but it's been reported that 7 years for men and 10 years for women.
Yeah.
And I mean, you think about people out there on the street living with horrible back pain, thoracic pain, neck pain, hip pain in women. The diseases, affect more generally peripheral diseases. So they don't think they have that, type of arthritis.
And often they're told, especially for ankylosing spondylitis, they're told it's a man's disease.
Exactly.
They're still told it's a man's disease. Women don't get this. And in fact, we know it's almost split half and half.
Exactly. I was diagnosed with RA 30 years ago, and one of the things I learned when I was, trying to learn everything about everything, which is what we tend to do when we're diagnosed. I was staggered, and that's a men's disease, 90% of men. And as you say, we now know it's very equivalent. And it's just one other thing, I'll get on my Me Too movement thing. It's one other thing, actually, where women's voices are maybe not heard, but they're heard differently.
Yes.
Especially within the healthcare seeking kind of process.
Yeah.
So women out there, don't be shy.
Absolutely.
Say, no, this is where I hurt and why I hurt and when I hurt. I think that leads, they're clues, right? They're great clues for clinicians, even those physiotherapists that, Wendy, you say you're trying to educate across the country, to help in the detection process and get people diagnosed more quickly. When you think about, I know Gerald Major, your president, very, very well. Yeah. He's one of our roving reporters, and he's just a great person. Yes. And tell us about the leadership, the volunteer leadership a little bit, and what you feel they bring to you in your job as the paid staff person. Yeah, I think that's something that people don't really realize in not-for-profits, like what value those people bring.
Yeah. So for me, Gerald is a huge support. He does a lot of work above and beyond what I had ever expected.
Yeah.
And he's always there, and he has my back, and he's always encouraging and supporting me. And I know he's always a phone call away or an email to help support me. I take my hat off for him. He lives with ankylosing spondylitis and psoriatic arthritis. So he has a double whammy, and he has a lot of complications that go with it. And yet he still really is a support to me, and he rallies the board around us.
Yeah.
And, he's a definite asset to the organization and to to my role in helping me.
Yeah, you know, when you're in the patient community, God, I'm so old, Wendy, as long as I've been here, you meet so many people, and I have to say, they're all gems in their own way, as is Gerald, and his predecessor, Michael Mallinson.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, they're really special people, and it requires a thick skin sometimes, but it requires, I think, just this innate joy to give back, innate leadership qualities, and they certainly have those in spades, so you're really lucky to be working with them.
And I think for a lot of individuals who volunteer, it's very therapeutic to them.
Yeah.
And it's sort of, and they know what others are going through, so it's their way to try and help people to get involved and to give back and share. Like I know specifically in Gerald's case, like he's really open to sharing his story, and you know, if he can help somebody not go through what he went through, that's invaluable, and I think it's selfless of him.
Excuse me.
You okay?
Yeah.
It's
You got me all choked up, lady.
And I take my hats off to people who can give back.
Yeah. Anita, do we have any questions that have come in from the studio?
Where can people find the patient resources that you have? And what are they?
Okay.
Here's the part, plug the website, Wendy.
So website development is in continuous growth and that kind of thing. On our website, www.spondylitis.ca, if you go down to downloads, we have our AS guidebook, which has just been updated, and we have a brand new psoriatic arthritis guidebook, which is like I said, brand new and out there to support psoriatic arthritis patients. And we will be adding a lot more resources in 2019 and beyond as we grow the different areas that we hope to cover, like mental health, health and wellness, that kind of thing. So I encourage people to continue coming back to our website for new resources.
So, and all of that free, of course.
Absolutely free, and we have hard copies. If anybody wants a hard copy, just email us at info@spondylitis.ca, and we're happy to send hard copies for you to share with your family and your loved ones, employers, so that they have a better understanding of what these conditions are and how they impact, and how our loved ones and whatnot can be.
Yeah, it takes a village for sure to do well with the disease. It doesn't. I used to describe it in workshops that we've run over the years. The person living with the disease is the pebble. When you drop it in the pond, these concentric rings form, and you learn over years with the disease, and actually relatively quickly on, if you have the right coping mechanisms, the right supports in place, how important those rings are to you, and that you can divulge or share. Cry with those rings and laugh with those rings as you grow with your disease. You know, you're not always given a diagnosis and feel, oh wow, okay, now I'm diagnosed, I know what I'm doing. Far from it, actually.
And I think it's important, Cheryl, for people to really have a good understanding that groups like ours, the Arthritis Consumer Experts and Canadian Spondylitis Association, is, you know, we're here to be part of your life and your support, and you know, there are times when you need to reach out to an unbiased person to lean on to get support, and we're also here to support your loved ones. So, you know, like Cheryl says, it's really a village that helps you to get through this. It's chronic, it's not going away at the moment until we can find cures for it. And until then, we just hope everybody around the world, and you know, I answer questions from and queries from people who are outside of Canada, and I'm happy to do that, as you are, I'm sure. We're here to support and help you through your journey, because we want to make sure you're not alone, and you know, that you really feel supported in whatever way we can help.
So there you have it, folks. This is Wendy Gerhart, and she's the Executive Director of the Canadian Spondylitis Association, who's doing fantastic work. We really congratulate you on the things you've accomplished so far. We look forward to continuing our partnership with you over the years. Some things, you know, we're too crazy busy to dive in. Sometimes we're not. But the one good thing to know is that people who are living with inflammatory arthritis just know in Canada that there's a big family out there.
Absolutely.
And we're here to support you in the ways that we can.
Yep.
Great.
Absolutely. Thank you, Cheryl.
I told you that'd be easy. Bye, everyone. See you soon.
Bye.